All right, people, what is going on? This is episode 477 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. And we're going to jump over to Georgia Southern because we got some news today about pretty much our best receiver that was on Georgia Southern. We got the news that Durden Burgess will be out for the season. Leg injury, very, very unfortunate. And then you already had Amari Jones and Jeremy Singleton out. It is, in my opinion, time for the true freshman wide receivers, and it is their time to shine, and I think these guys have the talent to do it. I mean, don't get it twisted. This is a good chance to see what these guys can do. We're going to talk about this, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Also, if you want to check everything down in the description to support, I really appreciate that. Before I get into that, this show is sponsored by BetUS. If you don't know anything about BetUS, the link is down in the description. You can check it out. Click that link. Put in $100 if you want to bet on these upcoming games. And as far as football, basketball, anything under that umbrella, they do even sports. Esports. They even do those as well. So if you want to check out the website, click that link down in the description, put in $100, you get 125% bonus on your sports book. So you're already winning once you go in and put in the $100. You already doubled your money. And with that being said, you can go win some extra money. So click the link down in the description, BetUS. I finally, I highly recommend it. BetUS, link is down in the description. $100, get 125% sports book bonus, and you can bet on pretty much anything pertaining to the betting world when it comes to sports, esports, and everything else under that umbrella. All right, before I get into these guys, once again, I got a question. Have y'all seen? It's gonna be a little bit quick, a little bit of Falcons talking. We're gonna jump into these kids right here, and we're gonna talk about them. Did you see the press conference, or did you hear what Coach Arthur Smith said about Mariota? Like, he's going to continue to have him play. Like, why? Why are we doing this? You already know what you got out of 10 games. Desmond Ritter's there, and Desmond Ritter may not be the guy. But I just find it mind-blowing when I saw this. Like, why would you continue to put this guy out there and not give your other guy a chance? It's just because to me, it's like you're just giving up or you're just being stubborn. I don't want to talk more about that, but I just found that very, very disappointing after what we talked about last episode. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into these guys here. If you don't know any of these guys, I want to talk about these 4 receivers, give my thoughts and opinions on them. And I feel like these guys are going to make a difference. They can. I think these guys are actually capable and talented enough to do some things. First and foremost, we're going to talk about Dalen Cobb, because Dalen Cobb is one of the guys that has been showing up lately in the last couple of games, and he's done very well for himself, catching a few passes. Don't have the numbers in front of me, and to me, I don't feel like it's necessarily about the numbers. I just want to give you a little background of these guys and my thoughts and opinions on them. Dalen Cobb played a lot of quarterback in his high school career. And he's just a guy that needs the ball in his hands. He has a lot of speed to him, and I feel like what he's done so far can continue, especially getting more reps. And I think he'd be very productive. Especially when you got a guy out like Amari Jones. I'm not trying to compare him to Amari Jones, but I can see where he could play that position very well, filling in for Amari Jones and actually being productive. So I think this is something that the Eagles need to really look into. If they haven't already, I think they have, because even in the Louisiana game, he saw some play. And I think in the game prior to that, when they played against who did they play before them? I done lost track. I don't take too kind of the losses too much. But when he played the game before then, he had a little bit of playing time as well. He caught a few passes. So I think Dalen Cobb is a guy that really could do some things especially, catching the ball in the flats and getting a quick screen pass, kind of similar to what Amari Jones were doing at one point before Amari Jones was going over the top to catch more passes, which we'll talk about the player that could do that in a few. But I feel that Dalen Cobb has the speed. You give him a couple of blocks, he could take off. I've seen him move in high school, and that speed just don't go away. So that's one of the young guys it's going to be his time to shine. He's going to be able to do some things, and I can't wait to see him get more reps, especially with our veterans that's going down. It's very unfortunate that we lost, 3 of those guys, and not to mention Latrell Bullard. He went down as well. Very, 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 very unfortunate. All right, let's talk about the one player that I know that can go over the top and showing a flash of it in the Louisiana game is Jet Thompson, Joshua Thompson. I was big on this kid when he first came to Georgia Southern. I knew, if we're going to start passing the ball, this is one of the kids I've wanted to see play day one, honestly. But I was kind of taken aback when I did see how Jeremy Singleton and Amari Jones and Caleb Hood and Derwin Burgess, I knew he had talent. I knew he was good, but the way he came on, then that made me not put Thompson up there with the rest of them. I was like, okay, we got something here. But prior to that, I was thinking that Joshua Thompson was going to be one of these guys to play right away. And you see why. I think this was like his first time out on the field, and he just blew past the receiver, on offense anyway. And you want to talk about special teams, Joshua Thompson actually blocked that punt in that game, in the game against, it was James Madison, I think it was James Madison we played. He blocked the punt there, and so this guy's a baller. And I understand the whole situation with all these true freshmen. You don't want to use them for more than 4 games. You don't want to burn their red shirt. But with 2 games remaining, I think everybody except for Marcus Sanders still has their red shirt. But Joshua Thompson could be a difference maker in this game. Like I said, Dalen Cobb could catch some balls in the flat, a couple of screens. I'm pretty sure he can catch, going down the field as well. I'm not saying catching any, negativity on any of these kids. But you saw Joshua Thompson. I saw what he did back in his high school days. Dude was ridiculously fast. I mean, he was extremely fast. I'm pretty sure he still is now. And the way he went past that veteran defensive back showed that he could do it. First of many. When he caught his first catch, first of many. And I want to see this kid shine. I think it'll be an excellent asset to this air raid offense. No matter who's the quarterback for the next 3 or 4 years, I think he's going to be one of those guys that you have to get the ball to going downfield, and it's going to be a beauty to see him play. Now, the next person that I want to talk about, now mind you, all these kids are true freshmen. They're true freshmen. None of these kids are necessarily like they've been on the team. All these guys have just been recruited by Clay Helton this year. And one of the guys that impressed a lot of people that I've been hearing rumblings about before the season even started was Marcus Sanders, number 21 right here. Marcus Sanders is one of these guys that I think is just going to get better with time. I mean, he's already shown flashes. He wowed everybody during practice in the offseason, and the touchdown catch that he had against Louisiana just shows that he can make some things happen. A lot of things that's been going on with Georgia Southern, I don't know for a fact, but a lot of things for Georgia Southern has been a lot of safe plays. You haven't seen too many aggressiveness when it comes to Georgia Southern. I mean, maybe like outside of the Nebraska game, I think we've been a little bit aggressive when it came to the Georgia State game. Even when Van Treese threw for 578 against James Madison, it was still a very safe type of game. So when you see them going downfield a little bit more and you want guys who can go up and get the ball, the guys who are going to catch the ball like a Derwin Burgess, when you did go downfield, Marcus Sanders is one of those guys that could do it as well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that he could make those outrageous catches that Derwin Burgess did, but I think he has the ability. And like I said, I've heard some things about him making those kind of catches, especially during the offseason. And he just seems like one of these guys that's ready to go, because when he's been playing, every time he's been on the field, he's been somewhat productive. 2 catches here, 3 catches there, 4 catches there, touchdown here. So I would like to see Marcus Sanders continue to get better, and it looks like he's going to be one of those guys. You're probably, honestly, when you look at this draft class, not draft class, but this recruiting class, you're probably looking at a number 1 receiver with Marcus Sanders. He has that build and that talent to do so. So be on the lookout for him as well. But like I said, these kids, they're going to step up the next 2 games, I believe, and it's their time to shine. When you look at the next person I want to talk about, he hasn't seen any playing time, but Coach Clay Helton did say that he's coming along. And to be quite honest, going along with this draft class, you see some of the highlights. If you go to his Hoodo link, when you see some of the things that Josh Dallas has done, this kid is an athlete. And I think, I didn't realize this guy's had some size on him. I mean, he looked like he's a big physical athlete that could make some acrobatic catches. Him and his brother both was recruited by Western Michigan, but they both decided to stay home and play for Georgia Southern. So I feel like with these guys being here, I think they're going to be able to be really, really productive for the team. I am banking on not Josh Dallas, but David Dallas as well. So I think these two guys, twins, can make a difference on this team. But Josh Dallas, I would like to see him out there and play a little bit as well. You look at Marshall, you look at Appalachian State, which we will talk about them down the road. You look at these two teams, their secondary is not that good. Yes, I know they have Asante Samuel Jr. I think it's Asante Samuel Jr. No, not Asante Samuel Jr. Dre Bly. One of those Hall of Fame type of cornerbacks play for Marshall. I can't remember. I don't know if it's Dre Bly or whatever the case may be. I know it's not Asante Samuel Jr. He's in the NFL. But anyway, nevertheless, I know they have that, but I don't think their secondary can handle with what we have already with the type of offense we're running. But I feel like this is a big test for these four guys to step up and do something. You still got Caleb Hood. I know you still have him. He's going to be like the guy because he just broke a record recently. But these four guys, you want these guys to succeed. Because I'm going to be honest with you, next year, these are the guys that you're going to be wanting to be productive. Why not start why not start rooting for them now? Look, the thing about college and the NFL, the two differences for me is I don't give up on none of these kids in college. I don't. No matter, these guys could be right now, 0-10 right now. They could be, you know what I'm saying? They could be 0-10. They could be, 1-9 or whatever. I would never give up on these kids to continue to get better. Because the main goal is to be not only just a better football player, but you can be a better person by being capable to persevere, to do better, be better, do right. And I think this is an opportunity for these kids to step up and be on a big stage. You have to understand, these kids right now, all four of these guys are about to go up against some prominent programs in the Sun Belt. So, Marshall have an illustrious history, and we already know what it is when we play Appalachian State. These kids have a chance to put their name out there and show everybody that they're here. They're that guy. They're going to be the guys that's going to continue to progress this air raid offense for years to come. These guys are true freshmen, and we already seen flashes of what three of these guys could do. Dalen Cobb is fairly productive. I'll say fairly because he hasn't had enough exposure. Something about Joshua Thompson, something about him just shined superstar. And I know it's only based on 2 plays, but you just don't come on the field and block a punt out of the blue. You don't go and just beat, a DB on the first play that you're out there, just out the blue. You just don't do that. It's something about that kid that could be extremely special. It's the same thing I said about Derwin Burgess when, Chad Lunsford was with us. I said, Derwin Burgess looks like that guy that could really be something really special for this team. And this is before all the acrobatic catches and all the production that he's done. I knew there was something about Derwin Burgess when he transferred here, or I think he flipped this commitment and come to Georgia Southern, and it paid dividends. I feel like Joshua Thompson could be that guy that could do the same. You get Derwin Burgess on one side, you get Marcus Sanders on the other, and you put Joshua in the slot, you're gonna have some problems. And speaking of Marcus Sanders looked like another guy that could be a true number one. And I'm serious. He has the size, he has the athletic ability, he has the hands, and it seems like he has the work ethic because he's been playing well enough to be one of the few, if not the only, true freshman wide receiver that got the most playing time. So it's something about a lot of these true freshmen that we have. You got the Pashawn Wimleys on the offensive line, Latrell Bullard on the defensive side of the line, which, hopefully Latrell Bullard has a great recovery. But you got a lot of guys that just don't have the playing time to show you what they can do. But when they do get out there, you see what Joshua Thompson does. You see what Marcus Sanders can do. So What was the other kid, the true freshman that got the 2 sacks? Was it against Louisiana or was it against oh goodness, was it against Louisiana that got the 2 sacks? Yeah, I think it was against Louisiana that got the 2 sacks. Davis, I think it's Greg Davis. You got kids here that can do some things. So with that being said, we need to support these kids. There's no reason not to support them. I think these kids are going to be very, very good for us, and it bodes well for the long run. I feel like we can do some things in that capacity, and I think we have the 4 guys to do so. I'm looking up something real quick. Give me 1 second. No, I don't think I can find it. This is okay. It's no big deal. I thought I'd be able to find it, but it's all good. No big deal. I just want to let you guys know that I feel that this is something. Oh, and not even talk about it. I think if you give Josh Dallas a chance, I think he'll be able to do and be just as productive. This offense thrives on receivers getting the ball and being productive and having a lot of opportunities. And you already got 4 guys here. I'm not even mentioning Caleb Hood. I'm not talking about J.J. McCaffrey. I'm not talking about the other guys that we still have. But when you lose the guys that we have, like Amari Jones or Durham Burgess, Jeremy Singleton, I don't know if he's actually coming back or not. If he does, that'd be great. But when you lose those guys and you have these guys on deck, I think you're going to be in pretty good hands. So hopefully that all works out. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 477, and we're still moving strong. Talking Georgia Southern Eagles, these wide receivers, it's their time to shine, man. I think they'll be able to pull it off. There's no reason to sit back and say the season is necessarily over. We have some guys that can do some things. I want you guys to understand we have some guys that can do some things, and let's give them opportunity. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's all experience. These guys will probably come back next year and show you what they're made of after getting some experience. But other than that, we got two games left. Marshall, Appalachian State. Give these kids a chance, and we'll see how it goes. All the links are down in the description if you want to support. Also, don't forget about that link, BetUS. Click that link, put in $100, you get 125% sports book bonus, so you double your money off the rip, and you can see about trying to win some games with these with these other games that are coming up this week. I'm going to get up out of here. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a fantastic Tuesday, and you guys take it easy. Y'all guys be blessed. Peace.